Back here on Opposites Attract, John Stanko and I, Anthony Carlo, here in the basement of La Penta, broadcasting from WICR, and we hope that Ustream is a hot button for you right now, tuning into the show where we disagree a lot, but let's say that was a pretty...
it's pretty mellow.
Human?
It was pretty mellow.
What should we say? Civil,
there you go.
Yeah, pretty mellow, pretty kind of in the middle, you know?
It was neutral.
There
was not much to disagree on.
Neutral. I mean, some days you have topics that we can disagree on, and some days you just don't. The NFL Combine, though, is something that I guess we'll see if we'll disagree or agree on, and that has been taking place. It's definitely a big part of what the NFL is going to look like in general. And we've had, let's characterize it this way. We've had some disappointments, I'd say, and we'd have some
surprises.
I wouldn't say surprises. Would you say surprises?
I think
maybe some highlights.
Highlights. That's fair.
Some disappointments and some highlights. What were you disappointed by?
Well, I want to start out by talking about Michael Sam.
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
Michael Sam came out. He's an openly gay college player, trying to get into the NFL, and he said that he only wants to be judged on his athletic performance. Well, he's not off to a good start. He performed in 4 of the drills, or 4 of the events, if you will. Didn't do well in any of them. He ran a 4.91 40-yard dash. That's tied for 18th. He bench pressed 225 pounds 17 times. That's second to last.
Less than running backs.
Less than running backs. That's not very good at all for his position. Vertical jump, he had 25.5 inches, tied for 39th. And the broad jump, he had 114 inches, which tied for 14th. So Michael Sam, if you want to be the first openly gay NFL player, you're going to have to step up, because the NFL Combine did not highlight anything that you did in your college career, because he really underperformed what people were expecting.
No, I absolutely agree with you. I mean, that's been his preface to his argument basically so far about coming out. It's been his skills are what is going to be the judgment points for him, which it should be. You're entering the draft. You're going to be contributing soon to an NFL team who's going to be looking at you for what you can do for them to win, and what he did. Of late in the drills he's participated in hasn't been top of the line, and when you're going up against guys like Jadeveon Clowney, you're going to be basically washed off the boards because somebody like Jadeveon Clowney only opened up eyes even more.
And Jadeveon Clowney, I don't know if you've seen the GIF of Warren Sapp reacting to the Jadeveon Clowney 40-yard dash. He was just like, "Oh my god,
I wish I could do that."
Jadeveon Clowney was just
he's a beast.
Oh my god. Now, granted, he only had 21 bench presses, which is not good. A punter had more than him.
I love how you say that, but when I look at the way that this is happening, I must admit, I like to work out. I enjoy going to the gym. I believe they bench 225. To do that for 17 times, let's not even talk about breaking 20, is extremely hard.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
It's extremely hard.
I'll tell you right now, I'm not a gym go-getter. That's not happening.
I know, you told me you hate the gym. I think you hate weights.
I hate weights. I will play any sport for hours on end.
Look at that arm.
I will play. Okay, your girlfriend's not watching. You don't need to show that off.
I forgot to tell you the funny story from before.
Oh.
It happened with my girlfriend, and it had to do with Manhattan and Iona.
Okay, we'll get that. We'll get to that eventually. We'll close the show on that. Okay, how about that?
Fine.
Close the show on a happy note.
Good way to get everybody to keep listening.
Yeah. But I mean, listen. What he did in the 40-yard dash was unbelievable.
Yeah.
A 4.47 for a defensive lineman. Oh no, 4.53. Excuse me. The fastest time for any defensive lineman at the NFL Scouting Combine.
It's crazy.
Unbelievable. He outran Johnny Manziel.
Manziel had a 4.63, I think. A 4.63 in his first dash. In his second, 4.56, and Manziel overall was 4.68. But as you said, Jadeveon Clowney as a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
I mean,
scary.
It's scary.
Scary. Now, listen.
Be afraid if you're a quarterback.
That is why the Houston Texans, with their number 1 pick, they know that they're going to go up against Andrew Luck for the next foreseeable future. If you have 2 pass rushers in J.J. Watt, who's got power, and if you got the speed of Jadeveon Clowney, because we know he's not a guy who's going to bull rush you. No. Like, he's not the guy who's going to bull rush you consistently and get to the quarterback, but he is arguably faster than any defensive lineman in the NFL right now. No, we don't know that, but as of the combine, he showed speed that no one's ever seen before as a college athlete.
Yeah.
So, Jadeveon Clowney, that's why I think this had to open eyes for the Texans, because if you got J.J. Watt and Jadeveon Clowney rushing the edges, oh my God.
It's a potent combination.
Yeah, quarterbacks beware.
Beware.
It'd be like Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis on the Colts when they were in their heyday.
Yes.
It'd be exactly like that.
Yeah, Dwight Freeney would be Jadeveon Clowney.
Exactly.
And Robert Mathis. Listen, I completely agree with you. I mean, if you're trying to create a perfect defensive pass rush and just defensive attack up front to begin with, there you go. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what any NFL team would dream of. And then so I would say Jadeveon Clowney definitely highlighted what he can do. Okay, because people know what he can do, but I think that this is the time when you really put an asterisk next to your name, and I think that he did that. Michael Sam didn't.
Yeah,
I think Johnny Manziel did that.
Yeah, he had a very good combine as well.
Right,
he had a very good combine.
I don't think Teddy Bridgewater did because he didn't run.
He did not.
I don't.
And I guess Teddy Bridgewater did not throw either.
He didn't throw either.
Neither did Johnny Manziel.
Right.
Well, also what I read was Teddy Bridgewater did not handle the interviews that well.
Did he really?
From what I read, Johnny Manziel impressed most when flooded with media. He acted mature and he acted commonsensical,
right?
Which he didn't at times at Texas A&M. But people were most impressed with that. They said Teddy Bridgewater, while he answered the questions fine, seemed a little bit to be searching for answers.
Okay.
Again, this is just what I read. I obviously wasn't there. But they said that was a little scary for some teams.
Okay. I mean, Johnny Manziel, number one, he brings a personality to the field as well as his skill set. Mm-hmm. So when you're looking at whoever's going to draft Johnny Manziel, which he potentially could be a number one. He could be number one.
He could be number one.
Okay, he could be number one. When you look at what he's going to bring to a team, you're going to have to realize that I think confidence / cockiness is the word, and slight immaturity we've seen so far. Mm-hmm. But to definitely, believe it or not, it's just as important for that impression to be given off as his skill set.
Yep.
Was to answer the questions in the way he did to the media.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know how many people noticed that, but I assume as if it's been written by a credible source, a lot of people have noticed that, and that's just as important as his performance. And his performance, by the way, put him in a category of Cam Newton and Andrew Luck in the 40, because Cam Newton, I believe he ran a better 40 than Cam Newton did. Let me check that right now. Luck was at 4.66 and 4.59 on his 240s, and Newton's time was a 4.59, and his Manziel's official time was a 4.68. So no, wasn't as good.
Yeah, he was just a tad bit slower also than Russell Wilson, who entered in the draft.
But if you think about Cam Newton and what he does in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Johnny Manziel's giving off a good vibe.
Andrew Luck, Russell Wilson, and Cam Newton. If you're getting compared to those players in terms of your 40-yard dash, you're doing something good because they're all winning quarterbacks in the NFL.
Absolutely. I would say the one thing about I would probably compare him most to Russell Wilson in the fact that the height-wise, the height is closest.
Yeah, he's under 6 feet. He's 5'11" and 3/4. Johnny Manziel is.
Yeah, I'd probably say he's 5'10". I don't know. I just feel that way. But
they officially measured him.
Oh, did they officially
measured him?
Well, before that, when he was saying he was 6 feet, and but Johnny, the only thing about Russell Wilson, he's got bigger hands than Johnny Manziel.
I think Johnny Manziel.
You might ask me why I know that, but
Johnny Manziel, I think, has a better ability to create space in the pocket out of nothing.
Okay.
Russell Wilson is very good with his feet, don't deny it, but I think Johnny Manziel has the firework in him that maybe, I don't know, that's a bad word to describe it, but he's got that it factor where he can make a play out of nothing.
Instinct?
Yeah, he's got that gut instinct to run one way when no one else would think to.
So would you say Cam Newton would be a better comparison?
No.
I don't think so. I think Cam Newton's very black and white. I think he either does something or he doesn't.
I think in terms of being mobile in the pocket, in terms of creating something out of nothing, I think he's most similar to RG3 when he was healthy.
Okay.
When RG3 was healthy,
that's good,
he created space and did things that no one else did.
That's a good comparison.
Now, granted, RG3's got beat up, and Johnny Manziel's probably going to watch tape of RG3 and be like, this is not what I'm supposed to do.
Right.
But I think he has that factor. I mean, Brett Favre called Johnny Manziel a young Brett Favre.
Yeah.
That's who you reminded him of. And now, while Brett Favre threw interceptions, he also created plays that were unbelievable. So that's a fine person to be compared to.
RG3, by the way, is going to be working hard to get back to where he was because just when you brought him up, I thought of that. But that's a good comparison, I think, between the two. I mean, I say there was an overall worry about the way that Johnny Manziel is going to transfer his skills to the NFL playing field from college, where he's going to be dealing with a different he's going to be dealing with different defensive schemes, and a big question I think was his height going to play into it? Defensive lines, his own defensive line was very tall. I mean, I'm sorry, offensive line. So I don't think it's going to be absolutely horrible. I mean, I guess we'd have to look up the heights of a projected NFL team that could draft Manziel to realize whether that's going to affect him more than his own offensive line. But I think that his skills will translate well to the NFL playing field. I don't think he's going to come out of the gates like an all-star or a Hall of Famer, but I think he will develop over time, and I don't think it'll take that long for him to show he's going to be a good player in the NFL.
According to Mike Ritz, who's tuning into our show right now, Johnny Manziel is the #1 pick of the Houston Texans. That is what he says.
Okay.
So I don't necessarily agree with Mike. I'm going to be honest with him. I think that they're going to draft Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah. But I could see him being a #1 pick. I will say this. I believe he is the first quarterback taken off the board.
I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. I don't think that Blake Bortles or Teddy Bridgewater really.
No, Blake Bortles had a fantastic combine.
Well, he did, but I feel that Johnny Manziel has basically proven. I think that teams are going to gun for Manziel first. I think he's more proven.
Also, he will get you tickets. He will sell tickets.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Proven overall. I think that he's a name. He's already a household name.
Not
household, but you know what I mean.
I think Johnny Manziel. I think he's going to hate it, but I think he's going to end up going to Jacksonville. And I think he's not going to like it there because Jacksonville has nothing to build on. With Justin Blackmon, their top wide receiver, not on the field half the time. But I think with the #3 pick, I think that St. Louis, they go with offensive line. I think Houston Texans go with Jadeveon Clowney, and I think Jacksonville with the 3rd pick, they don't believe in the quarterbacks they have down there. I think they're going to take Johnny Manziel.
All right, that's fair enough.
But you got to argue, will Jacksonville go with the hometown kid, Blake Bortles from UCF?
That's true.
And get the Florida fans riled up. Oh, this is the Florida guy coming to help the Jaguars and stay home.
That's true.
So it's just an argument to be made. But I think if you're the Jaguars and you want to win quickly, you got to go with Johnny Manziel.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I feel like Manziel's the ticket, literally and figuratively, for many NFL teams right now. And you're smiling again. And what Mike Ritz is saying.